The latest situation and the latest news is that talks are continuing and negotiations are continuing between the HSE and St John of God in an effort to encourage the organisation to reverse this decision to stop providing disability and mental health services across the country. This is regards to a purported or proposed handover of services in a row over funding and what St John of God said has been the underfunding of the services right across the country and including several places here in Kerry over the last number of years. The putative date for a transfer of services for the operation to be run by the HSE is next August. Eilish Perryman, whose son Patrick lives in St Mary of the Angels in Beaufort, is concerned for his future because of the decision to withdraw from services. St Mary of the Angels, of course, a residential facility for people with intellectual disabilities and one of those that would be transferred if this goes ahead. We'll hear in a moment the latest exchange from Dáil Éireann yesterday on this matter. But first, here's Eilish with her concerns as a parent's representative representing those in St Mary of the Angels.
We don't want them to transfer to the HSE. That's a real worry. I'm a member of the National Association of Parents and Families of St John of God Association, representing St Mary of the Angels since 2020. Our committee have worked with the St John of God CEO, her staff, and the staff of HSE on an SIA document, Sustainable Impact Assessment. It was completed last October and sent to the HSE. It's an extensive analysis of all aspects of the St John of God Community Services to reach agreement of funding to be provided by the HSE. The HSE and St John of God have a completed copy since last October, but have not signed off. It can't be published until it's signed. All that work for a document that is lying on somebody else's desk. Jerry, people with disabilities and their families have been forgotten for far too long. They're indeed neglected citizens of this country. Parents and families are deeply concerned and alarmed at the uncertainty caused by the proposed transfer of services to St John of God to the HSE. We, the parents, are living on tenterhooks each year, hoping that the service of St John of God's will continue since 2020, since all this started for us. I'm requesting the government, for the sake of the 800 adults and children who are depending on the St John of God services, to please fund them properly. Yeah. In fact, give them more funding.
Is that the central question? Because this all happened or was going to happen before. St John of God's previously told the HSE they'd be walking away in late 2020 because of what they said was years of underfunding. An appeal was made and the process you were talking about there was entered into. They were going to go into negotiations around future funding. The financial deficit that's built up is in the order of 28 million due to underfunding going back several years. And that's what you're talking about, this make or break letter sent last month. The HSE was told it would need 32.5 million funding to continue to provide services. And you're saying that whatever has happened, and you don't know for sure, it looks now like that report, that document is laying on someone's desk and St John of God's had no other option. Is that your understanding?
Exactly. That's the way it is. I know for sure because I'm involved in the committee. That's what's happening. But I just can't understand why they cannot give the proper funding. It's as I said, we're the forgotten community in this country. The parents and the people with disabilities. For the last 40 years, I've been campaigning for advocating for people with disabilities, and I have to admit that the last 16 years have been the worst. There are many people who can't get respite here in Kerry. I'm aware of people who are waiting for housing. And carers to get the carers in the house as well. But it's just, there's 50 in Kerry actually, and it's just not available. I cannot. Before we'd get something, every year we'd get something, but this last few years it's absolutely atrocious. And that's all I can say. And in fact, you know, Jerry, you knew there was a problem with St. Mary at the Angels. That was underfunded. And Hickway would have closed that service if the parents and the friends had not stepped up and formed a committee to fundraise in 2018. The committee really appreciate the goodwill of the people who have donated to St. Mary of the Angels and continue to donate to those people who work on, to continue to donate to St. Mary of the Angels, and also the people who have donated their time and worked on campus to bring the buildings and grounds to the present standard.
Yeah.
Now, my own son is in St. Mary of the Angels, and he is such a happy man. We take him back. He comes home on alternate weekends. We take him back. Thank you very much. I had a lovely weekend. Thank you very much for bringing me back.
Yeah.
Jerry, the staff, St. John of God staff in St. Mary of the Angels, they care. They care with dignity and respect.
Yeah. And the question is, Eilish, what about those staff? There's 3,000 employees currently working for St. John of God's community services. The idea, I would imagine, if this goes ahead, would be they'd be transferred over along with formal responsibility for the services. There's another complicated question then about what happens to the properties whose services are currently being delivered. The religious order behind the healthcare group owns much of the property. That would be fairly complicated, I imagine, to work out. But, I mean, do you not even want to go down that road, I suppose, is the point? You want things to stay as they are, or the families want to stay as they are?
Absolutely. The families definitely want to stay the way they are. There is some properties that they own outright, and I can't confirm that, but I would imagine that they own St. Mary of the Angels outright, because it was transferred to them when they took on the service of St. Mary of the Angels. But there are other houses that the HSE have a lien on.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's whole complications. But you're saying, like, what are the families calling for now? Is this to pull back from the brink of this situation and to try and keep things as they are, or more funding to keep St. John of God's involved and the staff in place? Like, so, some might suggest, well, look, if the HSE take it over, keep all the same staff under terms and conditions, that there would be some sort of a smooth transition. What would you say to that? Oh,
definitely. If the HSE take it over, the staff will be kept on because of some arrangement that has been there. I think it's a government arrangement. Yeah, that they will be kept there. But the track record now on the HSE is not good. I mean, you have had them on your programme. Some cases that I would not have my... Yeah,
and there was worries, Eilish, in relation as well to the whole move for decongregated settings, and that was fought by parents and Friends of St. Mary's of the Angels to prevent that from happening because of how happy ye were with what was happening at St. Mary of the Angels. If it transfers over to HSE, would you have concerns that things would move further in that direction, perhaps?
Oh, of course we're worried about that. Of course we're very worried about that. I hope, I don't want to live to see the HSE taking it over. I just don't trust it after all the publicity they have got between Oris, the one in Swinford. That was horrific.
Yeah.
You know, I shudder to think that they would be taking it over. But anyway, there's not much else we can do, only, really to get to our TDs and beg them to do something about it, because they're the only ones who can help at this point in time.
Yeah, okay. Well, they're talking about it. Perhaps maybe they'll be transferred to HSE by mid-August due to sufficient funding. That gives a little bit of time in the meantime, Eilish, and I suppose we'll see what happens in that interim.
Hopefully we won't have to go that far. Well, I don't think my heart can take it anymore, really and truly. But that they will stop before, that they'll stop in the next few weeks, that they get together.
Okay.
Otherwise, we'll probably have to walk to the Dáil.
Yeah.
the families.
Okay. All right, Eilish, listen, we'll leave it there. Thanks a million for talking to us about that this morning.
Thank you very much for having me on. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
That's parents representative there for the families of those in St John of God Centre at St Mary of the Angels, Eilish Perryman, giving her concerns at the latest state of play. Here is Deputy Michael Healy-Rae raising the issue on leaders' questions with an Taoiseach Leo Varadkar and the Taoiseach response about this matter yesterday.
Thank you very much, Ceann Comhairle and Taoiseach. What I'm going to raise, I know, is a matter of great concern to you, to your Ministers for Health and also all of your government. Currently, St John of God's in Kerry supports adults and children with an intellectual disability. The breakdown is as follows in Kerry. Adults with intellectual disability, 230 adults attend residential and daycare services provisions throughout the county of Kerry. They attend 16 day services with facilities in their own communities in towns such as Castleisland, Killarglan, Kinmare, Dingle, Listowel and Tralee. People also travel in to attend a day service on the grounds of St Mary of the Angels. There is also 9 group homes facilities across Tralee and Killarglan. A further 10 apartments where people are supported to live in Tralee. 58 residents live in St Mary of the Angels facility in Beaufort, County Kerry, which is an excellent facility. Respite services for intellectual disability. 5 adults attend a respite service in Listowel. 50 children attend respite in Listowel and Beaufort. And there is 1 after-school service in Cahersiveen. Staff. In excess of 400 hard-working staff work in various facilities across County Kerry, supporting the men, women and children and their families. My question is, Taoiseach, this is a public service and it is incumbent on the government to maintain this service. Given that St John of God's community services have served notice to transfer, what guarantee can be given to the service users, their families and staff within those services that their services will be maintained in their current facilities and that staff employment will be secure into the future? This is so important, Taoiseach, because these are our most vulnerable in society. These are the people that we cherish and that we want to be minded and cared for. Since this announcement was made by St John of God's, and nobody can come along and say that they were surprised, and I did hear ministers in this government saying that they were shocked. I'd love to know what shocked them, because we all knew that there was a dispute going on over budgeting. We all knew that there was negotiations going on, and we all knew that that had broken down. So I can't understand how any government minister would be surprised at the announcement by St John of God's. I don't want to get into an argument over St John of God's or over the HSE funding. I don't want to blame government. I don't want anything like that. What I want to hear is a caring Taoiseach and a caring government coming out and saying that you're concerned over this announcement, that your priority, our priority, every one of us inside in this house, is the service users, their mums, their dads, their siblings, their grandparents. They're our priority. The budget will have to be sorted, of course, but our main aim is to protect those vulnerable people, whether it's physical or intellectual issues and disabilities they have. They are our priority.
Taoiseach.
Just want to thank the Deputy for raising the really important issue of St John of God Community Services, and thank you for contacting me directly about it during the week, as indeed did other deputies. I think everyone's aware here that there is a dispute between the HSE on one side and the board of St John of God's on the other. And both sides are putting the best foot forward, and both sides are negotiating hard so that we can come to a resolution. But what happens in that scenario is the service users and their families get caught in the middle, and it has caused a huge amount of anxiety and worry, unnecessary anxiety and worry for service users and for families that really should have been avoided, and I regret that it was not avoided. I can give the assurance to service users and their families that whatever happens, the services will be protected, even if that means the HSE having to take them over. But we would prefer that that not be the case, and that we are able to come to an agreement with St John of God's. The Chief Executive of the Health Service Executive, Bernard Gloucester, met with the board of St John of God's just on Sunday, and having listened to what they had to say, he wrote to them on Monday, just yesterday, setting out the current HSE funding that's available to them, and also how any deficit, how any gap can be closed. And he's asking them on foot of that to withdraw their notice to quit the service, and he's awaiting response from them. But like I say, I very much echo your comments here. This shouldn't be about the HSE or the board or the government or politics. This should be about the service users and their families who are now being subjected to unnecessary worry and unnecessary anxiety. I'm sure this can be resolved quite quickly between the HSE and the Board of John of God's. But in a worst case scenario, and I hope that doesn't arise, the HSE can take over the services, and we can say to them that no matter what happens, those services will continue.
That's a little bit of what was said in the Dáil yesterday in relation to this matter. Deputy Michael Ray and the Taoiseach Leo Varadkar, you heard from there, will continue to keep a close eye on that developing story. If you have a view for us on it, get in touch with us on the programme on 066 7123 666. Text or WhatsApp us on 083 300 300. We want to hear from you. Keep your comments and opinions coming into us. If you have any questions as well